And just so you know, I'm also co-hosting with you, so you can chill and do the stories, and I'll handle the background stuff if you don't mind.
Awesome. Sanam is also on duty to do that.
Right.
So yeah, it should be good. Hi, Santosh. You're
Hello,
on.
sorry for the delay. I had some
No
network
worries.
issues.
No worries. I love your virtual background. I wouldn't have guessed if
Yes,
you
this is
hadn't
why.
told
Yes.
me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
That's cool. Okay, I think let's give it a minute, or should we get, we have, I know because a few people had registered to join and many of them are not here. So let's give it a final minute and then we'll get started. Is that a custom avatar or like did you
That's a
create
yeah.
that or Zoom just
I
picked it up?
did. I don't. Between us, I'm not wild about that one. It has more hair than I do, and I was trying to do one with the bald top, but the ones they had available were insulting. So I
Uh,
did that, and that one reminded me of being in a British court, you know. But
yeah, but they
Yes.
don't have one where you could put a hat.
uh, well, I don't wear hats. I wear crowns and kufis, and
Hmm.
there's a big distinction because in the American legal court, you do not enter a courtroom with a hat on, as a rule.
But you can with, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and so they. Oh, let me take the avatar off because they can't request me to take this off unless they ask the Sikh to take off his turban or a Jew to take off their yarmulke. They can't
Hmm.
ask me, you know. And so, yeah. But no, they didn't have any that were decent. And I get a little miffed sometimes, and I have to find out who the people are who make them up, so I can say, your handling of non-white folk is insulting. So yeah, and they had one before they updated the avatar. I had a very nice one. Then they did this update, and mine just disappeared.
I have just also sent the lineup on the chat. Uh, let's kick off now. Thank you everyone so much for joining today. Happy World Storytelling Day. I hope you had a good time celebrating your own stories and maybe listening to some good ones as well. My mom told me a story yesterday, which, yeah, she doesn't tell them very often, but it was really nice to hear some of her stories. So today, it's just like always, we have five storytellers in the lineup. And I'll do a very quick introduction and we'll have the storytellers come in one by one, 10-minute stories, all true personal stories. This is a space to practice and exchange personal stories. So there might be people who are telling their stories for the very first time. Your comments and encouragement are very, very welcome. Keep yourself muted through the performances. But feel free to put your notes in the comments, anything that resonated with you, anything that you enjoyed, or even just the reactions, and that could go on throughout the story as well if you feel something really connected with you. And then at the end, we can open up the floor, have us all unmute ourselves and just kind of catch up on what's been up with our journey so far. So if that's all good, let's get started. Today, the first storyteller is joining us from Ireland. Please welcome Sanam.
Hello.
We are ready for you. I'm just going to remove my. Thank you, Sanam.
Yeah. 13 years ago, I had a heavy heartbreak. I carried myself like a ghost from one day to another. Sleepless nights, no appetite, sudden outburst of tears. I was so devastated. A few times, people on the street, bypassers, stopped and offered tissue to me. One day, we were having a gathering with friends, and a friend of mine said, I was like you after my previous relationship. I couldn't function. Would you like to know what helped? I was all ears. Vipassana, he said. I didn't know what that meant. He continued, Vipassana is an ancient meditation technique. I went to a 10-day retreat in Lebanon, and that experience changed my life. I left all my painful thoughts about my relationship there and came back home as a new man. Though, he added, it might be a bit challenging. You make a vow of silence for 10 days. Another friend jumped into the conversation. If Senem could not speak for 10 days, I believe anything is possible in life. Back then, silence made me uneasy. Whenever there was a silent moment, I wanted to fill it with my chatter. But I said to myself, I can do it. I can spend 10 days without speaking. So I signed up for the same course that my friend went in Lebanon. During the preparation process, I realized that there was much more to Vipassana than only not speaking. It was an immersive inward journey, and the rules were strict. Not only you would make a vow of silence, you were not allowed to look anyone at their eyes. You were not allowed to touch anyone, or reading, writing, using any devices were out of question. So each moment was dedicated to go inward and to find peace and ease inside. I went to the retreat center just around this time of the year, in the spring newly began, and it was so beautiful, surrounded by the magnificent mountains of Lebanon. And imagine someone who has never meditated in her life and put her in that place where meditation lasted 10 hours a day. They said some hours were optional, but I said, I will do it all. Anyone who would know me, I am certainly not an early riser. And morning meditation started at dawn, 4 a.m. And there I was, arriving first to the meditation hall, cross-legged, waiting for others. And the task was scanning the bodily sensations from head to toe and back again. And I was super focused, head to toe, back again. Head to toe, back again. Head to toe, back again. After a while, this overfocus became a trap. I couldn't stop. Not only in the meditation hall, while I was eating my meals or having a shower, brushing my hair, walking in the beautiful gardens, head to toe, back again. Head to toe, back again. Head to toe, back again. And when I was not formally meditating, I was repeating the mantra, anicca, 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 which meant this too shall pass. Anicca, anicca. And the worst moments happened during night because I was looking up to ceiling and head to toe, back again, head to toe, back again. After 9 days, I felt truly exhausted because lack of sleep and also because of the sheer effort of trying so hard. At night, it was dark in my room. I lay flat in my bed, and all of a sudden, out of the darkness, a woman with large breasts and large hips approached to me. She came closer and closer and closer and sat on my chest. No breath, nothing. I said, I'm gonna die. That's it. I'm gonna die in Lebanon. And then I remembered the mantra, Anicca, 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 and poof, she disappeared. And I could breathe again. The next morning, I skipped morning meditations and afternoon meditations, slept throughout the day and also night, and in the morning, I woke up as a new woman. And later, I learned that what I had experienced that night was called sleep paralysis, or as some might say, a visit from the night's hag. And in the end, I did it. I spent 10 days without speaking and proved my friend that anything is possible in life. But was it all about proving? Certainly not. What stayed with me was Anicca. This too shall pass. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sonam. Thank you. So did you get over your heartbreak?
Oh, yeah, certainly. Now I feel very lucky that I had that experience. But it took a while.
I also did the Vipassana meditation, and the body scanning technique is very effective. I do find myself sometimes doing it while brushing my teeth, just up to down, down to up, just like you said. Yeah, I'm really glad you had that experience, and that mantra of Anisha now means so much to you.
Yeah, thank you. And I mean, I thought first, like, the story is not related with the topic, but then I thought actually it was a rebirth for me.
Yeah, that
Like,
is very true. That is so true. Thank you so much, Sanam, for sharing.
thank you. Bye.
And just like that, we have our next teller now, Kunjabi, who's joining us all the way from Canada. This is 5:30 a.m. in the morning for Kunjabi. So thank you so, so very much for joining us today for the World Storytelling Day Swap. Kunjabi, I'm going to replace my spotlight now and it's ready for you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Sanam. That's beautiful. I don't know if I could ever not talk for 10 days. That would be hard for me. It's really good to see you all. And I have only told this story twice. I mean, I've told it many times, I guess. I just formally actually jotted down notes. And then I just read it through, and it's really only like 5 minutes long. But really, this story, it takes a little bit longer than that to perform it. I'm just feeling a little shy because this is my sweetheart's story, and I don't know why I feel so shy all of a sudden, but I feel like I'm starting to blush. But you could probably tell. So he and I worked at the same place in the language nest. Our language is Hadkil, Haida language. It's a linguistic isolate. There's no other language like it in the world. And that's because our ancestors originate on some islands called Haida Gwaii, the land of the people. It's still to this day a 6, 7, or 8 hour ferry to get there from the mainland. So it's this is why our language isn't related to any other language. He was Noel, and he was the cook. I worked with the toddlers. One day I was passing by the kitchen and he offered me a plate. Here, Kungjade, try this. And I took a bite. I wish I remembered what kind of food this was. I took a bite and it was an explosion of flavor in my mouth. I said, wow, that tastes so good. Why does that taste so good? And without any pretense, he replied, because it was made with love. Oh, my heart melted like butter. Oh, I knew that I was in love with this man. But I couldn't tell him just yet. We started flirting. And then one day at work, I discovered at the very end of the day that it was his 50th birthday. Now, when it was anyone else's birthday, he made a cake and he made some delicious food. Often it was giant pizzas or something, and we celebrated. But it was his birthday and he didn't let anyone know. He didn't even get a happy birthday song. And I felt bad about that. And to turn 50. So I brought him over some homemade cookies that I made. I ignored the fact that he was drunk. I've never been drunk. My dad, he was a binge drinker. And so I decided, because my dad ruined every single Christmas, every single holiday actually, for my entire life, that I would never ever get drunk. And I haven't, and I won't. But Noel and I started hanging out. I invited myself over for dinner every single night. So in our language, we say this is hanchia. Hanchia. I was very nervy. It did take a while before we were a couple. We fell in love. And because he's an excellent cook, we both got very, very fat. We didn't care. We were in love. But I must say, he struggled with drinking. And I finally moved away. And 2 years after I left, he got an excellent job and he moved to the same city. We're here in Vancouver. And we went out for a few meals. I remember just feeling like he was a friend, but I was trying to keep my heart in check, because I'm like, I even had a talk with my silly heart. I'm like, don't you be in love with him. You don't know if he's changed. But the more we hung out, I was like, nope, that's it. I do love him. We moved in together. It's been 5 years since we moved in. And in the beginning, I remember setting up our apartment and we had nothing, but we got a lot of secondhand things. And I remember stopping at one point and I said, I love making our house a home together. And he said, I love it too. When I first met him, I had nearly died from anorexia. He taught me to love food again. I taught him to love himself. I think that's an excellent exchange. What do you think? It's very, very short, but how, thank you.
Oh, Kunjabi, now I know why you were blushing, because you guys are still together in your house that you've built together. That's
Thank you.
lovely. Beautiful. I love that little bit where you said, I talked to my silly heart, and I said, like, yeah, I get it. This is all heart. You're not thinking, you're just feeling. I love a good romantic story. Did you get to do art in your house?
Art?
Sorry,
Uh,
did you say that you said you love to build things together, build a house together?
Well, what we did is, I think what we contributed pieces. He has a cousin who's a visual artist, and he created this piece. Let me see if I can unblur it. He created this piece and he gifted it to me. You can kind of see the shading there, but for
The
some
blue
reason,
one at the top, yeah.
yeah, let me see if I can undo it. Oh, I see its settings and none.
Oh yeah.
Can you see it? So right there, the one with the moon. So that was something that he commissioned his cousin to make for me for my birthday, the first year we were here. And he actually made that into a shirt. He surprised me. He made the design into a shirt so that I could wear it. And when I first, let me see if I could stand up. When I first wore it, it was just the right size, but now I've grown too big for it.
That's what happens when you're living with a good chef, right?
I know. I had to tell him to quit making bread.
Thank you, Kunjade. Thank you
Thank,
very much.
thank you.
And then up next, we have Shraddha, who is joining us from Pune in India. Please welcome with your Zoom applause, Shraddha.
Yes, I need to unmute, right, to speak. Well, I can speak, but you can't hear me if I don't unmute. Thank you, Niharika. And it's so lovely to be here amongst other tellers telling a personal story today. It's a story that I am still working on. So with that disclaimer, let me leap into it. His 3-month-old vocal cords wailed in protest as soon as I walked away, as if his entire world was imploding, and instinctively, every single cell in my brain and my heart wanted to spin around 180 degrees. My arms wanted to lunge out at him and pull him into my bosom to calm him down. But I did no such thing. Instead, I buried all that maternal instinct and quickly left, strode out of the main door, quietly shutting it on the cries which were behind me. Yes, I left my bawling infant son behind because I chose freedom. And I can see the shock on your faces, but before you label me as cold-hearted and selfish and whatever, allow me to tell you the whole story. It was the year 2010, and I had just moved back to India, to the city of Pune, after staying in the US for 16 years, after studying and working in the US for 16 long years, most of my young adulthood. And during my stay, I had gained 2 children and a husband along the way, and I'd moved back with all of those men in my life back to Pune. And it was a big change because when we decided to move back to Pune to move in with my in-laws and into a joint family. So suddenly overnight, it was a huge change from just the 4 of us to 11 of us under one roof. And although our home was large enough to accommodate all of us, and there were enough bathrooms too, which was good, of course, although it was large enough to accommodate all of us, it was a big shift in personal space, in privacy, in independence. And 16 years in America, I had developed a very strong taste for independence. But the huge benefit, the untold benefit, unseen benefit of moving into a joint family was suddenly I had so many well-meaning, reliable adults in my life that I could depend upon for help and company and support. But the one thing that I knew for sure that I absolutely needed to do soon after moving back, and do it fast before, I was too scared to do it anymore, was to reclaim some degree of independence. And I decided that my battleground for independence was going to be to relearn how to drive in Pune. Now, mind you, I already had my Indian driver's license before I went to the US, but at every visit that I came back, I never really drove a car. I was always driven around. So there was a 16-year gap between when I had driven before and what I was challenging myself with now. And 16 years was a huge change. It needed a full reboot and a forced evolution of my entire central nervous system just to sit in the car as a passenger. Forget about driving the car. But I decided I absolutely needed to do this before it became too late to relearn. You see, we had 2 drivers and 3 cars. So the general consensus was, why bother? Just call the driver, call the chauffeur and go where you need to go. You can have a cab also or a rickshaw. Why do you need to learn to drive? The traffic is so bad. Oh my God, I didn't even tell you about the traffic yet. The toughest thing to adjust to was the whole driving scene was the traffic. After 16 years of orderly 4-way stops and polite tuck, 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 blinking, on off of lights, saying, oh, I'd like to take a right turn, I would like to take a left turn, and then you wait politely for the other person to turn, etc., etc., etc. Pune's traffic and streets felt like a high-stakes game of Mario Kart. And without the safety of a screen, mind you. In Pune, a lane is at best a philosophical suggestion, I would say. Because, you have 4 objects, or maybe 5 if you can fit them in, going on a 2-way street, on a 2-lane street, maybe 3 rickshaws, 1 or 2 bikers, a luxury SUV, and then, of course, sometimes a very unimpressed cow in the middle of the street. And to drive in that scenario was going to take a lot of heart and a lot of courage. And if there's a gap a little bigger than a samosa, bang, a biker is going to just teleport into that gap. So, like I said, it was tough. And not just with the vehicles, there were pedestrians who did not use footpaths or sidewalks. If there was a footpath, it was usually not used. And the pedestrians thought they were cousins and aunts and uncles of Superman. And all they would do was just fling out an arm like that and just cross the road without giving you a second look. That was the scene of learning how to drive again in Pune. But I really needed to do this because everything else in my life that I knew and had lived with and I had become as a person had suddenly changed. Right? I was responsible for and answerable to, in a sense, and living with 10 other humans. 4 of them were very little. 3 of them were very senior. So all kinds of age ranges in a joint family. So emotional management was a big thing. And the one thing I wanted was to reclaim a little bit of my independence, a little bit of my freedom, and relearning how to drive despite the war zone that it was on the roads. Despite that, I really needed to do that. So I did the one thing the only possible thing I could do was I hired a trainer to just sit beside me. And I said, Dada, Dada means like big brother. Dada, all I need to do is show me which road to take and just guide me in the spacing of my car. I already knew how to drive a geared vehicle. And just help me out. Karnan na tumhi, madat karnan na mala. Will you help me? And he said, sure, I will. And that young gentleman sat next to me for the next 3 weeks, every single day for an hour per day. And that was a time that I gifted myself, that I reclaimed for myself in order to be free. In order to have the ability to drive where I wanted to drive, in order to be able to even ferry my kids when they needed it without the need of a driver, in order to be able to simply hang out with friends till late at night and not be worried about, oh, will I get a cab? Will it be safe? Or have someone come from home to pick me up? Oh. It meant freedom. One instance I definitely remember is when this Dada was sitting next to me. One thing I had to relearn was how to honk. Big lesson. Because in the US, I barely ever honked, right? And in Pune, it's more like breathing. You breathe, you honk, you breathe. And I was driving, Dada was sitting next to me, and he said, Tai horn vazva, which meant honk. So I went, beep. Horn vazva. Beep. He got pretty frustrated with me. And what he did was he just flung his arm across and he went on my steering wheel to the middle of my steering wheel and went, PAP! Asa horn vazvaitsa asto. This is how you have to honk. And that was my biggest lesson in learning how to drive, along with maneuvering with the traffic and all of that. And I'll tell you this, that it's now been 16 years that I'm back in Pune, just as long as I had been in the US. And I've been driving all of those 16 years. And I'm happy to report that I have not had an accident as yet. And I'm also happy to report that I'm known as the auntie that doesn't honk. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that visual imagery, Shraddha. I have been to Pune and I 100% relate to everything you're saying, but I did not have this vocabulary to describe it. A high-stakes game of Mario Kart is the perfect description for
Perfect, yeah.
anyone who's not seen that.
But now it's so natural. It just comes, I don't even think twice. Even when that biker teleports into the gap next to me, I'm like, ah.
So now you're finding samosa wide spaces to squeeze yourself in.
Oh, no. I still carry some of my private personal spaces, even when I'm driving.
Okay. Okay, good for you. So your infant, your 3-month-old infant is now 16 years old,
16, yep.
and you're driving them around as well?
Well, now he bicycles himself, and that's another heart thud for me because of all the traffic. So he actually takes his two-wheeler bicycle, non-motorized, and he bicycles himself places and all. So, but of course, yes, if he needs a longer ride somewhere, I ferry them there. But the driver is still there. And I forgot to mention this. This is the most funniest part. I still hire a driver, not to drive, but to park my vehicle, mostly. Because parking spots they're so deadly difficult to find. So yes, I do still use a driver, but I usually value him most because he just drops me off where I need to go and then he goes and does his magic and finds parking. And I don't have to bother about that.
May I make a quick comment?
Yes, sure.
Yes, of course,
Babasi.
Babasi.
Okay, so you talk about the driver parking. My mother could drive. I mean, she would put professional drivers to shame, but she could not park. My father could park. but he could not drive. He was always complaining about the other people on the road. When they rode together, my mother would drive, and sometimes she'd get out the car and say, "You park it." Okay.
That's a match made in heaven.
Oh, they, my parents, they would hold hands, and people, they were like teenagers all over again. Yeah. And I would tell people, those are not the people that raised me. I don't know who they are, but those are not the people that raised me. But anyhow, she could drive, but could not park. He could park, but could not drive. Okay.
Thank you,
And you were
Babasi. I really do think that everyone in this group will have a driving story. I know I do, of failing at driving, but yeah, there
I
are
don't
going to be
drive.
so many driving stories.
I don't drive, and I was forced to drive once, and I had to pull over. We were in a parking lot, and they wanted me to drive out in the traffic. Now I didn't have a license, and they wanted me to drive, and I pulled over. We were on tour in the Midwest of the United States, and I looked at my business partner. I said, if you ever do this again, remember who controls the purse strings for this venture. And I was going to cut everything. I don't drive. It's just no. No.
Yeah,
If
even
you
those who don't drive see have a driving story.
see, if you see this face driving, fly. Don't run. Don't walk. Fly to the nearest rooftop.
Thank you, Babasi, and thank you so much, Shraddha. That imagery is definitely going to stay with us. Those of
Thank you.
especially
Thank you
when we
for
go to
this
Pune again.
opportunity.
All right, we are in the second half of our show. We have two more storytellers now. Up next, we have Renu joining us from Chennai in India. Please welcome, with a round of applause, Renu.
Thank you, Niharika, and hello, everybody, and here's my story. Well, my story happened in the year 2002. My mother had come to stay with me. I have a reasonably large garden because I live in an independent house in the outskirts of the city. And my mother loved to come and stay with me because she loved to garden, and she didn't have a garden. She lived in an apartment. So every time she went to Kerala to stay with my older sister or to stay with me, she loved planting things in the garden. She had just come back from my sister's house, and so she had brought a sapling for me. I said, Renu, here's a sapling for you. Please plant it in the garden. I said, okay. Now, there's not much space, but figure out, Ma, where you want to plant it. She said, you know what this is? It's a citrus tree, but I have no idea what kind of lemon it is. I said, doesn't matter, Ma. You figure it out. Where do you want to plant it? And so she went out. She decided on a spot. She dug up the earth herself, planted it, and every day, as long as she was with me, she was watering it and taking care of it like it was her grandchild. She stayed with me for 2 months and then she left. Now the tree continued to grow. A rather thin sapling. It just grew a little bit every month, maybe every year. And it continued to grow. Years went by. In 2007, my mother passed away. The tree had not flowered, nor was there any sign of anything happening, changing in the tree. It just grew. And so one day my husband said, say about 10 years later, he said, why do you want to keep this tree? Let's just cut it. It's of no use. It's not fruiting, not even flowering, so we can plant something else. I said, no, I don't want to cut it. Ma's no longer around here, and she personally planted it, so I'm not cutting it. 5 more years went by. And then he said once again, Renu, please, we don't have that much space. Let's just cut the tree. And here I was beginning to think, perhaps what he was saying was right. Perhaps I should cut it. But something said, don't cut it. So I did. 5 more years went by. And then suddenly one day, my gardener came to me and said, Ma, look. And it was an orange. I said, orange? Where did you get this? From the tree. I said, what? Yes, come and have a look. So I went and I looked up, and there were 2 oranges from the tree. I said, what? An orange tree growing in the plains in Chennai, where it's so hot through the year? Oh my God, this is a blessing from my mom. I'm so happy I didn't cut it. Oh God. The next year, we got so many oranges, absolutely sweet. My dad had come to stay with me, And he had lots of orange juice, lots of peeled oranges, and orange tart, everything possible with oranges. And then 2 years later, she had this white fungus all over the trunk. And I was worried what was happening with the tree. So I did my research. I went online. I checked with people, experts who know about trees. And I said, what do I do? They all said, it's root. It's root rot. You can forget about the tree. It's not going to last. It's not going to live. And I said, no, I will make her live. She's my mother now. She is my reminder. She's my reminder of my mom. So I went out to the garden. I hosed her down and I hugged her and I said, listen, I don't care if you don't give me any more fruits. I don't care that you don't flower. I just want you to stay. Please stay. Please live. For me, I love you very much so, and I'll take care of you. And so every day I host her down. And you won't believe, she's still there in my garden. No fruits. And I am very happy. My mother's still with me. Thank you.
Oh goodness, Renu, that is so special.
And actually changed my attitude. I love trees and plants. I've always loved them. But now I think there's a special bond with all the trees and plants in my garden. I go around hugging and kissing them and, talking to them. And you should see the way they bloom. Every time you talk, everything has got energy in life, especially nature. So I think very important to talk to trees. And this tree is really, really special for me. She's my mother. So I'm so happy I didn't allow my husband to cut it.
Yeah, and I'm so just so pleased to hear that you went to the tree and you said, I don't care if you don't give me any fruits or any flowers. I just want you to be okay.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful moment.
Thank you.
How old is the tree now?
It's 2002, 24 years now.
Wow. Wow.
And in
Having
this
a
hot
company
summer,
like that.
hot year, hot weather in Chennai, right through the year, she's still standing. It's a big thing.
Was your mom used to giving gifts like that, or was it out of character for her to
Oh
suddenly
no,
give
she
you a
loved gardening. She loved giving me and my sister trees. Either she'll bring one from there or she'll take one from here and give it. One mango sapling she took from my house and gave it to my sister. So she's
Wow, she's
always
given you
used
the
to
love
love
for
gardening.
gardening.
Yeah. She used to love giving us things also. Very loving, generous.
This is such a sweet story. I can really imagine it as like a children's picture book, a short story where you're learning to talk to plants or like discovering that connection with your garden. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing.
Thank you, Niharika. Thank you.
Oh, it's been so beautiful, really. Thank you everyone for sharing. We've now come to our last story from the lineup today. We have Santosh, who's joining us from all the way from Tokyo, actually. It's pretty late in the night for him now. So please welcome with a big round of applause, Santosh.
Thank you. You can hear me well? Okay. So a few weeks ago, my son asked me a question, which made me think. He's 13 years old now, and he told me he went to one of his friend's house and he noticed they just had a TV and they were just listening to music and programs with the TV speaker. They don't have any additional speakers. Is that normal? That's what he asked me. Then I realized, I always had huge speakers in my home. So I have two huge speakers next to me, and I have a subwoofer, and I've always had huge speakers. I love the thumping sound of music, and that's how I always listen to music. And even normal TV, I watch with those thumping speakers. And he grew up with that, and he thought that was normal. And he went to a friend's house and he saw they didn't have speakers. How can you listen to songs without a speaker? And then that made me think, is this normal, having a huge speaker? and a subwoofer. And I wanted an answer for it. And that brought me to my 13-year-old self. I was trying to find the route where this became my normal. And I realized when I was 13-year-old, I was brought to my father's friend's house for a puja or some kind of festive celebration. There were a lot of kids there. A lot of them are around same age or younger than me. They all gathered. I grew up in a very normal middle-class family in Chennai. So kids, all that we do, all the time we get, we just go out and play. And then the only game we play is cricket. So any time we get even 10 minutes gap, we go out, play cricket. But that house, the kids was not doing that. We had a lot of time because adults were busy with the puja and we didn't have anything to do. So these kids never went out to play, but instead they did something else. They brought a huge tape recorder and sat around that and start listening to music. They were sitting around there, put a cassette tape in it, and they played an album. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, heard of him, A.R. Rahman. He's an Indian music composer. He won Oscar for Jai Ho song. And it was one of his album called Duet. And they started playing this cassette. And they were listening to the songs. I was like, I felt really weird. Come on, let's go out, play. No, they were listening to it over and over again. The second time they listened to the same cassette, I started noticing the songs. I've never heard such a beautiful song before. And the sound which was coming through that big speakers, the thumping sound, I've never heard such a sound before. And the third time they listened to the cassette, oh my God, I want the cassette. I'm like glued to this song. I love this music. I want it. And when I get back home, we had a small tape recorder at home. And that's where we used to listen to music. That was mono. The sound was pretty bad. I wanted a better tape recorder, similar to the one I listened to my father's friend's house. So I asked my father, I need a bigger tape recorder. And one of my friend's brother, he used to build like cassette decks. He used to buy circuits from market and DIY. He used to build his own speakers and set, and you can listen to it. And I've heard that in his house. That had the thumping sound. The bass was amazing. When you hear the music, that was great. I wanted that. So I, in fact, asked my friend's brother, how much does it cost to build one of this? He told me 1,800 rupees. I said, okay, so let me go back to my father. I need 1,800 rupees, father. I need to buy this speaker. And he told, no. I was, no, but I need it definitely. And he said, don't worry. If you buy these DIY stuff, it doesn't have a warranty with it. Let's buy a proper tape recorder, a branded one from a proper company. I was overjoyed. Wow, I'm going to get a proper tape recorder. I'm going to listen to music. And it was New Year's. And he told, let's go for a lunch. And on the way back, let's buy a tape recorder and come back. And we went out as a family. We had amazing lunch. And on the way back, we stopped by an electronic shop. So at that time, I think it was 94 or 93, the biggest electronic product was either TV or these cassette players, the tape recorders, right? So we entered the electronic shop. Myself and my father was standing next to each other, and they had arranged the smallest to the biggest tape recorders like this in the shop. The smallest was this side, and the biggest was this side. I was looking at this side, and my father was looking at this side. So I was like, I looked at my father, no, see this side, so this side, no, I want that. And my father walked up to the smallest one, which was probably even smaller than the one we had at home. Mono speakers. He looked at that and he said, this is nice. And he asked him to play a song in it. It sounded pretty bad, but my father was pretty comfortable with that. He said, wow, this is good. And it had radio as well. So, oh, this is 2-in-1. We should buy this. I was about to cry. No, I don't want this. And we were about to buy it. We went to bill it. And at the counter, the shopkeeper, he told, so it's pretty busy season now. It's New Year, so everybody's buying. You can get the tape recorder today, but you come back next week for the warranty. We'll give it to you next week, the warranty card. That was my chance. I told my father, Father, we can't buy without a warranty. The warranty card is the most important part. And my father was, yes. He was fighting with the shopkeeper. No, we need the warranty card. And finally, there was disagreement and we didn't buy it. I was so happy. Okay, we didn't buy this. And we were on the way back home, but my father stopped by another electronic shop. And there we went. And he went to the same small tape recorder. He bought that. He got that and immediately asked, do you have warranty card? And the shopkeeper told, yes, sir, we can give you immediately. Okay, there goes my chance. We are going to buy this now. But luckily, the speaker didn't work. The tape recorder didn't work. I was like, yes, okay. But they had one bigger size, not the smallest, but just one more. It had 2 speakers in it. It has stereo sound. And my father was mesmerized with, oh, 2 speakers. This is beautiful. And he bought it. I tried my best. They had warranty, they had everything, and we bought the tape recorder and we brought it back home. I was so unhappy with it. The sound was very bad. I decided I would never listen to this anymore. But during that time, when I started listening to music, I started one more habit. I started singing in bathroom. Like that's where you actually sound good, right? So there came an idea. I brought the tape recorder into the bathroom and I started playing it. It sounded better, but still it did not have the thump. I need some kind of jugaad. I need some kind of improvement to do this. Then I figured out my bathroom had 2 huge water buckets, plastic buckets. And I said, yes, this would do it. And went back to my bedroom. I can't keep listening to songs in bathroom, right? So I went back to my bedroom. I lied down, put the tape recorder behind me, and put the 2 huge water buckets against the tape recorder. And then I played the songs. It was heaven. The water buckets was thumping. And from then, I listened to that for next 6 years until it died. And that was the best tape recorder I ever had. Thank you.
Wow, I am so proud of 13-year-old Santosh. All this improvisation and negotiation with your father. Well done. It's again such a cool visual imagery with you lying on your bed with the tape recorder behind you and 2 buckets sticking out like this.
Yeah, my mother used to complain a lot because she needed the bucket, but I always had it in the bedroom instead of the bathroom. So eventually I had to buy 2 buckets for myself. So
And before that, were you going to the bathroom just to listen to the music, or only while you were showering you were listening to music?
No. I go take the tape recorder to listen to music to the bathroom. Right? People are waiting to take bath. I'm wait, one more song. Let me finish this.
Did the buckets have warranties?
I don't think so. It didn't last long. Yeah, so it didn't have problems. Yes.
Oh, this is amazing, Santosh. And now, what kind of speaker system do you have at home? Like, what's your fancy system now that
I
as an
don't know if
adult
you
you've
can see this
decided?
like that. Did you see that?
No, I think
No.
with your virtual background, we can't see it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have buckets, does it?
No, well, no more buckets.
No. Very cool. Thank you. That was very nostalgic. With even the 90s electronic shops with all the speakers laid out. Ah, yeah,
That's
that's
my
the
There
big
it
one.
is.
That's the big one. Nice. Did you tell the story to your son, by the way, who was curious about the normalness
yes.
of all of it?
Right. Yeah. I know. Actually, the moment he asked me the question, I actually told this story to him. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's it. That's the last of our stories today. Thank you so much to all of the tellers who told such different and such beautiful stories. I think I found a bit of connection to spring, like just the joy, the liveliness in each of the stories. Thank you. That's the official end, and we are actually right on time to end the lineup now as well. So we won't have time for more stories at the moment. But we do have another story swap coming up on 25th of April, and the wonderful Catherine would be hosting that swap. So she'll share on the group what the suggested theme is and the sign up form. So if anyone's interested in either telling a story, yes, Baba, see you. Yes, please do come.
How do I sign up?
How do you sign up? We'll share a form on the group, and the form is very simple. You just have to give your email address, a short snippet of what the story is about, and that's it.
I have no idea what the story. No, I do. Okay, so the group on the
On the personal stories group.
Okay, got it.
On the personal stories group, yeah.
Right.
If anyone's not on the group and would like to be on the group, then message any one of us, and we can make sure that you're added on. So if you want to give it a try, then that would be great. We also have one workshop before the show. So if anyone is interested in sort of trialing their story before they share on the swap, so that's a space to do that and to get some feedback and do it. So yeah, it's just so wonderful to get together and to hear bits and pieces of everyone's life. I feel like now when I meet you guys in person, I would already have this connection with you. And I do hope to meet you, some of you, in different places, maybe the Feast Conference or Marrakesh or Hong Kong, if you
Marrakesh
decide
for
to show
sure.
up here.
I'd just like to say thank you for this platform. And Niharika, thank you for the workshop. I think that really helped me pull my story together. So
Right.
it
Thank you.
was really useful. So thanks.
I've loved seeing the
No.
journey of your story. It's fantastic. All the vocabulary is just really fantastic.
Thank you.
I had the same experience. Like both times I told, the workshop really helped to kind of structure the story. What is this thing? And like I listened to Shraddha's story in the workshop, and I was expecting a 2.0 of the story, but it was 4.0 today. So it was a great
You had to
improvement.
match your
Good.
speakers, Santosh.
Yeah.
You have buckets. I don't.
Yes.
You have
And
Mario
the
Kart.
whole
Oh
No,
wow!
did
So
anyone
now you
actually
have the
went?
big speakers. This is a pun. So now you have the big speakers. So the smaller one with the buckets were pale in comparison.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Clever pun.
Oh, that's sharp. That one was sharp.
Very sharp.
We
And
can
You have
actually-
all
Actually,
kept
when-
me
when
enthralled. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And I was trying to have flashbacks about things that I have no flashbacks for. And I thought maybe I will get behind the wheel of a car. No, but yeah, this has been wonderful. Thank you. I'm glad I was here. It was worth not going to bed for. I got one more appointment today, and then I'm going to crash. I've been up all night. I did a thing last night. I was going to be up at 4, and I realized, well, it's 3 o'clock now. Well, what are you going to do? So I've been up. I'm not complaining. This was well worth it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Santosh and Renu, you were about to say something.
I just want to say, like, Shraddha, I'm very grateful for this platform and your workshop. I have not attended the last 2 times, but it's really, really worth it because, you know, you can really get your thoughts in order and tell a better story, a better version of it. But I'm really grateful for the platform, and thank you so much, Niharika, for hosting so beautifully today. Thank you, everyone. If there are no listeners, we cannot share our stories. So I'm really grateful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you everyone who joined to listen. It was just really, really nice to see everyone's reaction and comments as well on the chat that we had. That's really lovely. And Sanam, thank you for doing all the the tech work in the background for spotlighting tellers and make sure that it looks smooth as well.
A pleasure. Yeah, thank you.
We can stop recording now. So
Yeah.
we can just chat and hang out if whoever's free.
So
To
quick
catch up.
question, will the recording be available to watch?
Yes, within an hour or so, actually, it should be
Wow,
up on
awesome.
the
Yeah,
World
I think,
Storytelling website.
They're very prompt with the recording. Sharing.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Walid is amazing. Like I can't wait to go to Marrakesh and and take him out for dinner, essentially.
I met
Just
him
say a big thank you.
cafe.
He's wonderful. He's wonderful. He's
You met him,
yes.
Sanam?
Yes, last week I met him in this Word Storytelling Cafe.
I'm gonna say bye. My little baby needs a walk, so I've already overstepped her time limit. Good night, everyone. Thank you
Good
so
night,
much.
everyone.
It's
Good
lovely
night.
Good morning,
meeting
everyone.
Bye. Good morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Oh,
Bye all.
bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thanks, Niharika.
Oh, nice to see you, Baden. Bye bye.
See you next time. Yeah, my bandwidth is kind of messed up today, so I had to keep the camera off, but and the sound's been a bit up and down. But yeah, great session as always. Thank you.
See you
Thank you
next
for
time, Baden.
joining.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does anyone want to share? Kunjabi, yeah.
I was just wondering if Santosh had something to say, but he didn't get to say it. Did you?
No, that's okay. And when Shraddha was actually talking about the honking, actually I was able to hear honks in the background.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it actually happened. I was imagining, but yeah, I could hear it.
Does anybody want to share what's going on in their storytelling journeys right now, what they're excited about, or something they have just done that they want to share?
Well,
Well-
this morning I had a puppet show, my first public show after learning puppetry in January this year. And I was so thrilled that, you know, it was so well received. The children and the adults, everybody enjoyed. So I said, okay, so now I'm ready for more shows.
Oh,
This morning I had,
Nice.
yeah.
Right.
fantastic. Great,
Very
Renu.
good.
Excited to hear
And-
that. We
and-
also had a wonderful session yesterday evening. Storytellers of Ireland had a World Storytelling Day event in the evening. Beautiful stories were shared. Yeah, it was so nice to be part.
Wow.
So
What kind of
last
stories,
night
Sanam?
Sorry?
in
What kind of stories?
They were mainly traditional stories. I shared a real story, like a personal story combined with a great grandmother's story.
Nice.
last night I was in a sister town. Well, Washington D.C. is surrounded by 2 states. We're not a state, but we're surrounded by 2 states, Virginia and Maryland. So there's a town called Tacoma, and the Maryland Tacoma grew out of the D.C. Tacoma, but that's another story. Anyhow, last night an organization called CASA, and CASA helps Spanish-speaking people to get their paperwork, legal stuff and all that kind of stuff. And they had this gathering of wonderful musicians, extraordinary poets, and me. And so I was the only storyteller, and it was a great feeling. And I did the stories, and the audience responded very well, but it had me up late. And then I got home. I said, well, I'm just gonna calm down. I'm gonna grab a couple hours sleep. I'm gonna get up at 4, and I'm gonna do the one that there was a program before this one on worldstorytellingcafe.com. But I looked at the clock and I said, no, you're not going to bed, because if you do, you're gonna miss it. So I did the great stories yesterday. I did stories for children yesterday. And then I stayed up all night. I did the program before this one, and I've done this one. I got one more appointment, and then I'm going to crash. I got to stay up for the other appointment because they're bringing me food.
Ooh, breakfast
Wow.
time. You're a
Yes.
full-time, all-day, all-night storyteller, Babasri.
I'm working for that. I would love to do that. I just don't know how to set it up. Yeah.
So cool. I've never been part of a show which has both, which has storytelling and music combined. And I've seen, of course, I've seen many of those, and yeah, it's one of my dreams to be weaved in with the music, and where it feels like I'm telling a story and I have all this background music around me. I would love to try that sometime.
It's fun. I've done that mostly with drums and some other instruments. Because this area where I live, the what we call the DMV, District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia region, there's some very talented musicians in the area, and I've been blessed to be able to work with some of them, and some of them know my rhythm. Rhythm. Some of them know my rhythm, and it doesn't matter the instrument they're playing. And we just blend together, and it's a wonderful feeling. But I would like to have a full orchestra behind me while I'm telling my stories. They would blow my mind. Well, my mind's already blown, but anyhow.
Any final thoughts from anyone before we close for today?
Oh, real quick, because you were telling the story about the buckets and the sound, and when you started
Yeah.
telling the story about the sound, I'm on the 13th floor, and there's somebody playing their music so loud, I can hear the DJ breathing, and they're on the ground. So I'm gonna give them some buckets.
That was amazing. Yes, great. So next
Santosh,
year,
yeah.
one update, what I'm doing right now. I collaborated with a Japanese illustrator here, and we created a children's picture book together, and that was done a few months ago. But this 3rd April, I'm converting that picture book into Kamishibai slides. So I'm going to perform that in front of audience first time on August 3rd. It's a
Great.
cute little story about vegetable school.
Oh.
The theme is the vegetables are in a school, and actually they have to study and write the exam to be part of a food. For example, if there's a potato, it has to pass fried potato exam to become fried potato. So that's a story around that. And there is some drama, and we have created this cute little story. I'm going to perform that first time on August 3rd. Unfortunately, it's not online. It's in person here. But someday, probably I can perform that here online.
That is so
All
cool.
right.
Where can we find the book, the picture book?
It's not published yet. We are trying to talk to few. If somebody knows a publisher or something, please tell me. We're trying to. We would say only in Japanese right now because we did it here. So I will soon have an English version as well. So local publisher, one of them is in talks right now. Hopefully, it will be published here soon.
Yeah, that's the
English
beauty
version.
of Kamishibai, Santosh, that you don't need anybody to publish. You just have to print out the
Right.
illustrations, and then you can
Yes.
tell the story. That's the beauty.
Right.
Yeah, I was also thinking maybe I should just get illustrations done for the stories I write and then use it as
Absolutely.
Kamishibai. Very difficult to get them
Yes.
published.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
it is.
and
Sanam
actually,
and I
this-
have also. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that Sanam and I have also been very keen on writing for children, and so we started this thing where we meet regularly and critique each other's work and just sound off ideas off of each other. And it's been so nice, like just how Santosh just came up with this idea, like really random, creative idea of vegetable school. That's what happens when we get together and just throw ideas at each other and see which one
No, I
we
would
are
like
finding
to be part
exciting.
of it.
Yeah,
I would love
maybe
to
one
be
of the
part of
days,
it. Yeah.
one
Invite
of the
me. Yeah.
days we can have just like a pretty group where those of us who are interested in
Yeah, why not?
sharing
I
their
would love
picture
to be a
book
part
work.
also.
Great.
I get
Yeah,
In
let's
lot
do
of
fact-
that.
ideas.
I'd love to
In
be
fact-
awake to be part of it.
Yes. So, in fact, actually, the theme of that story, like actually, I was part of a storytelling workshop in Bangalore. There's a storyteller called Geeta Ramanujam. I don't know if you guys know, in India, Bangalore. So I was part of her storytelling workshop once, like a few years ago. And as part of that workshop, we have to create our own original story, one of the stories. And I was very bad at creating stories at that time. I didn't have any idea. So they were kind of giving out all the topics. I didn't know which one to choose, and then just waited for one last topic, which nobody picked. And then finally, I got a topic called How Onions Got Layers.
Oh.
Now that would be a tearjerker.
Right.
That's
Yes, he's
full
good
of
at puns.
fun
Yeah.
today.
So,
Yeah.
so, and I created a story for that in that workshop. And then kind of that was not very kid friendly. It was a very hilarious kind of story. And then we decided we'll do a children's book. So I had to tweak and change it to this theme so that it can match. And we created this.
So exciting. Okay, now I'm getting ideas. Now I feel like when we get together for whatever, a children's book session, maybe we could also do a writing prompt, like just
Yeah,
have
I
a
think
random
so.
writing
Yes,
prompt and
that
do
would be
some
nice.
writing.
Yes.
I have a question. What do you call a gang of vegetables?
A
Salad.
garden?
Gang of vegetables.
Salad.
Yeah.
On that note, I think I'm ready to retire for the night, I'm sure. So is Santosh.
Ah,
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Everybody
everyone.
take
Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Thank you,
you.
Jyoti.
Bye.
Bye bye.
see you in Marrakesh.